I'd like to tell you the story of a man in my life called Father Fred. Father Fred, from those days, 12, 13 years old, I was 12, 13, into my high school years, 15, 16, 17, into my young adult years, 20, 21, into my very wedding day at nearly 22 years old, he asked time and time and time again about my walk with the Lord Jesus Christ. And he asked time and time again, will you consider the call that God has placed in your life and go to seminary? And on the day of our wedding, Father Fred asked me to take a walk with him on the streets of Williamsburg, Virginia, which we did. And on that walk, he put his arm around my shoulder and he said to me, when are you going to go off to seminary? He said to me, you have a call from the Lord. I've seen it in your life since you were small. It's rather powerful, as you can see. The point I wish to make after telling that story, perhaps belabored, is that in the vast majority of lives of us clergy is a Father Fred. I have one. His name is Father Fred Goodwin. I suspect that you have one. And so I am asking you to please recall with gratitude who that Father Fred is in your life. And I'm asking you in this short video to take a very serious step, and that is to be the Father Fred for someone in your spiritual care.
My Father Fred was Father Alexis at St. Michael Orthodox Church in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to him actually to talk about possibly going to get a master's for teaching, and he turned the question back on me and he said, have you ever considered being a priest? Thank God, all the doors opened and it was a blessing, and I'm thankful to be here.
My Father Fred is Archpriest Daniel Rentel. When I was in Columbus, I was working as a civil engineer, and sometime before Christmas, I went to confession with Father Daniel. And at the end of confession, he basically told me that he wanted me to come and talk to him a little bit extra about other things. It was interesting. The conversation must have gone on for 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. I started to lose track of time. But at the end of the whole conversation, he said, Peter, I don't want this to be too heavy of a yoke for you. But he described different traits that he saw in me. And he said, we need priests like that, like you. It took me some time to realize that I couldn't get that out of my head and I couldn't get that out of my heart anymore. But my Father Fred was definitely Father Daniel Rentel, because that was what started it. That's what planted the seed. And no matter how hard I tried to unplant that seed, it took root. And here I am.
My Father Fred is a nun. I met her early on in my journey towards Orthodoxy, and she looked at me and said, I can see that you have a great love for the church. And it was very touching to me that she would see that in my heart. And she said, that man up there, I want you to go speak to him. So I said, okay, I did. And I walked up to Archbishop Michael and said, excuse me, Your Eminence, my name is Michael, and I'm not sure why I'm here talking to you, but Mother Barbara told me to come, and so I am here. And so we talked for a while, had a lovely conversation, and that was a long time ago. And now I am here at St. Tikhon's with Archbishop Michael.
So the Father Fred in my life was Father Stephen Dutko. He came to St. Michael's when I was 10 years old and became my hero. I'm sure he saw my vocation before I did. You know, he gave me opportunities to grow that vocation. I mean, he took me to altar servers retreats, he took me to the cathedral, he took me to the seminary. The more responsibility he gave me, the closer he forged that connection. So I think as a priest, we have to encourage vocations. We have to tell those boys who love to serve and serve well, think about being a priest, or at least think about being a deacon. They might want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an astronaut, but you can still, on Sunday mornings, you got to come to church, you can be a deacon and help the priest. We have to encourage those vocations. And the priest who speaks to that, shows that young man that what's inside of him is important. It should be nourished and can be nourished. And we'll be blessed if we say yes.
In addition to speaking to the young men in your parish, the capable men, they don't have to be young men. You could tell the story of your own Father Fred. Take a few minutes with your iPhone. Turn it sideways, very simple. Just put it like this, hold it out in front of you. Ask a friend to hold that camera for you. And just for 2 or 3 minutes say, the Father Fred in my life is, and tell your beautiful story. When you do so, post it to your social media, give it the hashtag #Stotts, give it the hashtag Father Fred. And that way we can keep this story going and inspire the next generation of men to serve as deacons and priests in the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. Thank you.